Good afternoon, Professor Magaji. My name is Ivan Sado Akideno. I'm making a presentation on exploring the impact of urban housing expansion on green and reserve lands and its influence on achieving sustainable cities in Abuja Municipal Area Council. Introduction. As Nigeria Federal Capital Territory continues to experience heightened population growth, economic activities, and infrastructure expansion, demand for existing land for housing has risen. And some of this population growth is due to insurgency, banditry, and unrest in the neighboring states. And urban housing development in Abuja Municipal Area Council has emerged as a foremost development challenge with extensive implications for sustainable urban living. A sustainable city, as we all know, is an urban area that balances with economic growth, with environmental sustainability and social equity. The need for affordable housing has also influenced policy decisions in Abuja, which has affected the development of sustainable city. Statement of the problem. In recent years, the swift expansion of Abuja housing within the Abuja Municipal Area Council has led to a noticeable encroachment on green and reserve lands. The lack of green infrastructure in newly developed areas has worsened this issue. Despite these environmental challenges, the urgent need to address housing shortage often takes precedence over ecological sustainability. Many housing projects proceed without integrating green building practice or considering their long-term environmental impact, aims, and objectives. The aim of this study is to examine the impact of urban housing growth on green and reserve spaces in Abuja Municipal Area Council and assess how it affects the achievement of making Abuja a sustainable city. Objective. The objectives are one, to analyze the current size and pattern of urban housing growth in Abuja Municipal Area Council. Two, to measure and examine the loss of green and reserve land due to urban housing growth. Three, to establish the environmental implication of shrinking green and reserve land in Abuja Municipal Area Council. Four, to examine the planning and the regulatory policies that influences land use and urban expansion in Abuja Municipal Area Council, to evaluate how housing development is influencing sustainable city indicators such as livability, air quality, and ecosystem service. And lastly, to provide recommendations on sustainable urban planning practice to balance housing development and open space preservation in Abuja Municipal Area Council. Significance of the study. The study is relevant in comprehending the pertinent issues of fast-tracking urbanization in the Federal Capital Territory of Nigeria. And also, the study provides insight into how these are impacting microclimates, contributing to urban heat, island effects, and dismantling natural cooling mechanism provided by vegetative cover. Another important contribution of this research is education policymakers and urban planners on how to implement smart growth measures without compromising green space. Another significance is to assist in making sure that the housing development are consistent with the prevailing land issue. The methodology, the research design. The research design to utilize in this study is mixed method besides design, which encompasses of both qualitative and quantitative approach. And the data collection methods is going to be both primary and secondary. The primary data will be collected via standard questionnaire completed online via Google Forms among residents, town planners, those in the built environment, and government officials. The secondary data will be collected through government reports, planning reports, satellite imagery, land journals, as well as existing studies of urban expansion. Expected outcome. At the end of this research, the study will provide spatial information and community expertise on land use exchange, vegetational loss, and land surface temperature rise, and deterioration of city ecological service. The research will also identify the social spatial forces of residential segregation and exclusionary housing pattern. The deliverable will be policy recommendations on green infrastructure-driven urban planning strategies, strengthened regulatory framework, and equity-oriented housing policies. Additionally, it will analyze public use and perception on green space in order to map environmental justice and nature access disparity. The budget for this project is estimated at the tune of 755,000, which includes the monies to be used for data collection, airtime, and other miscellaneous. And the timeline for this project is estimated at 8 months. The project is going to span between the 16th of June to the 30th of 16th of June 2025 to 30th of January 2026. On the timeline, starting with the project planning and proposal development, which will take three to 4 weeks. The literature review will take 3 weeks. Methodology design will take 1 week. Data collection will take 3 weeks. Data analysis will take 3.5 weeks. And final proposal reports will take another 3 weeks. Review and revision will take 3.5 weeks. And budget and risks analysis will take 2 weeks. And the complete project will be ready by the 30th of January 2026. In conclusion, this proposal has thoroughly examined the impact of urban housing development on green and reserve land and its broader implication on achieving sustainable cities in Abuja Municipal Area Council. The research stressed that while housing development is essential, the manner and speed at which it is occurring in Abuja Municipal Area Council is not sustainable and environmentally unsound. The significance of this study is that it has the potential to reshape urban planning policies and foster a balanced approach between development and nature preservation. Lastly, recommendations vary from the introduction of urban growth boundaries, green space quotas for all new development, and environmental compliance audits as periodic intervals. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.